towards having a stronger self control. Humble people are polite and considerate as they know what they are doing at all times. A humble person focuses on achieving personal goals and organizational targets and goals of the people under his fellowship. Hello, everybody. I'm Seema Chhoriya, and I bring to you another insightful session on great principles. Joining me in conversation is my very wise educator of the day, Miss Aparna Shankar, Deputy Director, Princess Esin Women's Educational Center, Hyderabad. Welcome to Great Principles, ma'am. It's truly an honor to have you today.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Seema. It's an honor for me too, and thank you for hosting me.
So let us, ma'am, begin where it all started. And there was a little boy who motivated you to take up this vocation. And since then, you are here, and it's been almost 3 decades now. So tell me one thing: have you been, have there been any moments where you have been questioned to, that why did you chose to be an educator?
Okay. Let me tell you, Seema, I began my journey with employment as a clerk in the South Central Railway. Okay, I just, due to family motivation, you can say, I too went into that stream after my master's in education and was working as a clerk, and I didn't really like the job. I left, gave up the job, and then took up a teacher's position in a private school. So most of them said that I was really out of my mind, that I had to give up a government job and then go into a private firm. But I was very, very keen on teaching children. And there is a reason for this, because during my teaching time, now again, as everyone, flows in the line, after after B.Ed, I went into masters, and there was a girl in my bachelor's teaching practice. I was 22 years old then, and she would answer all the questions while sitting down in the class. And one day, I think I lost my temper, and I told her, "Why don't you stand up and answer my questions?" Then she said, "I can't." I asked her, "Where are your manners?" So she said, "I have manners, but I don't have legs." That was a very impacting moment for me. I just didn't know what to do. I left my book there. I had tears in my eyes. I realized I was crying, and the girl was crying too. I just went and hugged her, and the whole class was around us. So that moment changed my life. I said, yes, I'm going to dedicate my time and choose a profession where I am with children. So I thought this was one of the best places to be in. And my mother chose me to study B.Ed. She is a teacher too. She's a retired teacher. So I thought, now this is my calling. So that's the reason I gave up my central government job and took up teaching full time. So never did I once question my role as an educator, or why did I pick up this profession. There were places in private schools where even the group 4 employees were earning more than me, but that never bothered me, because I loved to be with children, and I wanted to, was interested in the teaching learning process and their learnings. So I continued my journey with a lot of passion and determination. So never ever did I question this aspect, through all the challenges that had come across, through all the trials and tribulations. Never.
Wonderful, ma'am. Beautiful journey. And it actually brought tears to my eyes also hearing the story of that little girl that you came across. And yes, at times we are so ignorant that what is happening in the lives of others, because we are
Yes.
so focused on our own. And that is what happened with
Yes.
your life too. But it changed you forever and changed you for good. So it's I still have goosebumps, when you were narrating that incident. I never knew that it would come out this way. I thought that that girl might be, just playing with you, or, just I can't say how I'm feeling right now. So it's really changes these kind of incidents our life. So
I
ma'am, you
did I
also
did
mentioned.
keep in touch with her. She works in a bank now.
Wonderful, wonderful. So she's making her own living. So see, the education is such a powerful thing, you know. Once you're educated, you can fight all the battles. It is the only tool to fight everything, every battle of your life. So,
So
ma'am, you know,
true.
you mentioned that you started your journey as a clerk, your professional
Mm.
journey. Ma'am, you know, there are many women around there. Those who don't even get the privilege, education is a far reality for them, you know, far dream for them, but they don't even get the privilege of, you know, just being their own self. They don't get a chance to, you know, come out of the responsibility of the houses and move out. So many times I have this question: when should women work? Should she work only when the family is not able to, you know, take her or the children's responsibility? So, you know, I would really like to know your thoughts on this.
Yes. Uh, what I have seen through experience, I don't think that most of the women, yes, there is a need to work for financial goals, there is a need to work. At the same time, there is also a need, a drive that comes from within, that you need to do something for yourself. That's what I felt. You need to do something for yourself. So that's the where it begins, that you need to do something for yourself. Either you work, or you set up a workplace, or you work from home. So this is one aspect I feel why women work. Now, in my present work area at Princess Essen Women's Educational Center, when I see the women coming that come to the vocational courses, there are many of them. For example, those who learn cookery, they start home catering because it gives them ample scope to be at home, to monitor home, to look after their children's education, and also to earn an extra penny for the family. So this aspect I have seen even with the other vocational courses, whether it could be the beautician's course or the mehendi course or tailoring course. So I really, this aspect was really an eye opener for me when I realized that yes, women really don't have to go out to work. You can work, create work for yourself if you're skilled within the confines of your or your the boundaries of your home, and that depends upon how skilled you are, the online working areas, so whatever you could do. So I really feel that yes, there are many women, even from the economically backward areas, sections of the society, I should say, who would like to work. Some of them do not have the opportunity to work. Some of them do not have the permission to work, but still they try to do their best, so that some of them have to work out of compulsion. Either they are widowed very early, they have to look after children, or they become single mothers. So these aspects, probably life compels them to work or pick up something in their journey. So I feel yes, there are many, there is no single reason why, when you ask me why women work. And of course, work is just not defined as something that pays you. We always work at home. We are homemakers. We work at home. Yes. So it's a very, very vibrant aspect probably of our life, or something that's innate to us.
A very, very honest and eye-opening answer, ma'am, I must admit. You know, many a times I come across this question that why you need to work, why you need to leave the home, why you need to leave the children alone. Is it that there is no financial need? So, you know, that is why my question was there, that should women be work only when there is some kind of compulsion behind her? But you brought it very beautifully that we don't just work, we also are taking care of our home, and that is also a work for us, though it is not recognized as work, but working gives us peace. Working, we work for ourselves and not for any other else, so, you know, anyone else. So this thought actually touched me very deep, because, you know, when you work, you feel more valued, you are yourself. I mean, this is altogether a feeling of being more confident, and, you know,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah. So this is the
Self
wonderful thought.
worth. Yes.
Self-worth, yeah, it makes me more valued to my own self in my own eyes. It doesn't matter whenever I'm earning lakhs or I'm just earning pennies. It just gives me joy, and that is what is more important at the end of the day. So I think very, very beautiful thought, ma'am, that you work for the joy that you get while working. So I really appreciate that thought of yours. And whatever society says, we women need to support each other and see that we all get this joy. And at Princess Essen School College, this wonderful thing is happening every day. Women are being empowered there, and they are getting skilled to work and do more, make their life more worthwhile. So moving ahead in our conversations, ma'am,
Yes.
now we are coming on to our next question. So like I was just talking about it, it's the wiseness when I opened the show. So it was about being wise and sharing your wisdom with others. So I would like to know from you that you have been in this education domain for over 3 decades now. So as a school leader, as a school teacher, what do you think would be the major contributions from our leaders towards the progress of their staff? How can we help our teachers to be more, or more, to give out more in their roles?
Yes, basically, a school leader's position is more of responsibility. That is what I have felt. And I have, through my journey of 34, 35 years, I have led it that way. And I felt that was very fruitful because I had the opportunity to lead multicultural teams when I was abroad. So, looking at the aspect, basically, the school leader's role is more of connectivity. Then you automatically gain the confidence of your team and the genuine connectivity that the leader has, whether it could be the school security, the school nannies, or the school teachers. Everybody needs to be looked after. First aspect to focus on is health and wellness of the teacher. Coming up next is the continuous professional development. Like each child begins at a different starting point. Each You don't get tailor-made teachers. Each teacher has her own starting point. So we need to look at that as school leaders and even empower our middle level leadership to look into these aspects and then groom them to the needs of or the philosophy of the school or the place where you're serving. That aspect is very, very important. Then apart from that, as I said, health and wellness is a very, very important aspect of it. Along with this, we need to look at subject enrichment programs. We need to also have places where we could connect or informal situations like circle time discussions or formal discussions. So, teacher empowerment is a very, very important aspect, and continuous professional development helps the teacher to keep abreast with the latest developments, be it technology or subject, so that we can give the best to our students. So this is a very, very important aspect.
Certainly, ma'am. So we also need to take care of the personal life of the teacher, and that whether she's healthy, her family, everything is fine, or there is something going on. Along with professional growth, we also need to make her the part of the family. She should not be felt as an employee. She should feel like a member of the school organization altogether. So again, a beautiful take for all the my dear school leaders out there. If you want your teachers to be there with the organization loyal, you need to be more than just an employer with them. You need to be a part of their lives, to know them well and treat them well. So moving ahead in our conversation, ma'am, the world is becoming digital. Everything is coming on the screens now. We see a beautiful world on the screen, but at times we are forgetting the value of teaching our children how to keep the world beautiful. And our children are not getting the taste of how the nature is. They are not stepping out, they are not running on the grass, they are not just sleeping, lying down below the blue sky and understanding the beauty of the nature. So these feelings, when you experience the beauty of nature, you feel towards it and you start to preserve nature. So I would like to know what you would be your take guidance to the educators and students out there on the issue of conserving the environment.
Yes, if you could call something like sustainable living, if one needs to talk about the environment, one needs to practice about it. Right? I would like to share some of the practices that we had followed in many of the schools. It's just not one school. First is stop tearing or ripping off papers from your notebooks. This is one aspect. And the second part is we reduced the size of the dustbins because we felt the bigger the dustbin, the people had more liberty to throw stuff. So we ensured that we all did this all with the help of student leaders, and it's not a top down approach, it's a bottom up approach. So we took the prefectorial body into confidence, talked to them, gave them tasks. We had green ambassadors in some school, green leaders in some schools, green warriors in some schools, whatever nomenclature we gave them. There were many teachers who loved environment, who loved growing plants. So we made sure that everybody connected to greenery in one way or the other. And this aspect also percolated back home. So we first looked at conserving the greenery. One is growing at least 2 to 3 plants at home and taking care of it. This is one aspect. And every classroom had about 5 to 10 plants, and every month we gave prizes or awards for the best the class with a lot of green fingers. So this aspect, so the staff room was also included in it, even the principal's room was included in it. So everything became very easy. Then came, how do we make things sustainable? We in fact, in one of our schools, I should be humbly saying that we won the sustainability award all over abroad in the Emirate of Sharjah. So the students and the staff worked towards reducing the electricity consumption. Now, this aspect we carried on even at homes. We told the parents, the children went and educated their parents that they need to bring down the electricity bills, and they furnished the bills of the last 5 months. We practiced this over a period of 6 months, and probably it's still continuing. And this another aspect is we buy only what we want. We separated what we want and what we need. And that's how we looked at these aspects. We looked at it even in school. Do we really want this or do we need this? So this aspect was important. The paper aspect came down, and whenever there was something, we tried to turn it into paper mache or recycle the paper. We looked at green manure, also making green manure. To some extent, we were successful in that. Try to reduce consumption of water by putting sprinklers. Then also reduced consumption of electricity, and all the staff would pool in 2 major halls after school. So the electricity bills drastically came down. So we looked at all these aspects. So when you look at a green earth or a green environment, it's just not growing plants. That's my understanding of it. It's just not making growing plants and making your place look green. What other aspects are we doing to protect the earth, make it all these non-renewable energies systems? How do we conserve them? This aspect when we ingrain right from school. Now if you look at preschool, you have something like nature walk. Nature walk is a very, very important aspect in preschool. So once the child gets the love for nature there, you look at what you see, and it's the way the teacher connects with the environment and the child. Do you see a butterfly fluttering there? Do you see a leaf? Let's look at the flower, touch, feel the petal, but let's not pluck it. So we also made it a point that we are not going to give bouquets during any festivities, because that means plucking flowers, plucking leaves. So we made several other objects. So just increasing greenery alone, we didn't do this. We diversified into many other aspects probably, which helped the children. So some of them are still, a few of them are in touch with me, and they say that these practices have really helped them. And then avoid wastage of food also. We monitored even that. So these aspects, yes, greenery is important. Apart from conserving greenery, what else? Because if you talk about greenery, you talk about food. When you talk about food, you look at how do you conserve food. You can conserve food by not wasting it. And one example is one handful of rice. So every month or every fortnight, the child would bring one handful of rice or dal and put it in the bin. So that rice also, they ensured that was not wasted at home. So making things green, we connected it and diversified in many other ways. All this through mind mapping, talking to children. Most of the ideas also came from children.
Wow.
I should really appreciate them and our teacher teams that I worked throughout with. Not all of them are my ideas, so it was a bottom up approach. Even the nannies, a lot of them gave ideas, and that's how we worked with. So, this is what I feel is really making a home green or a school green or our environment green.
Wonderful practices, ma'am. And when we start practicing these, automatically, as you shared, the ideas start coming up from the teachers and the students, because you are leading by example. So we leaders always need to set that example in front. For any thought to work, first we need to ensure that we are following it, and then it turns the team does it. And beautiful practices, and this is what every school needs to do. And such small changes which actually adds up to the bigger change. And after all, any convenience at the cost of planet is certainly not a convenience at all. So wonderful practices shared by ma'am here. I think it would be great if every school implements this. Moving ahead to our next question, ma'am. You are a humble soul, and you are happy, and your positivity is all around you. So ma'am, tell me one thing, that what happens in the state of sadness or in the state of distress? Who is your support person? Whom do you go for your advice, inspiration, or just just to hear you out?
Yes. See, the journey of all these years has just not been a very, it's just not just, it's been positive, positive. There were times with a lot of trials, challenges. It just not one person that has probably helped me or inspired me to look at or look for solutions. Basically, I feel it's looking for solutions, this aspect of looking for solutions and doing a SWOT on how I can convert negativities into opportunities, even in a very very difficult situation, to look at the positive side of it, what can be done. Not one person, it could be somebody like my mother. I had also a good fortune to work with good educators like Gulab Ramchandani, who was the ex-headmaster of the Doon School, with Swami Sarupananda ji at the Chinmaya International School, Coimbatore, who's the head of the Chinmaya Mission now. Then Dr. Sita Kiran, who was the director of the DAV schools. Mr. JP also, who was my senior, my mentor at many times. So many people. And even when there was a difficulty in any time, at any point, we also looked at the prefect body for solutions. And actually, they gave robust and excellent solutions. Sometimes, yes, I would discuss it sometimes with my own children. So I looked at especially people from different fields of life to give a different perspectives to the challenge. So that gave me strength to find solutions and just not understand them and follow them blindly, but discern them in my mind, keep discussion within, have this thought within, and then figure out what's best for the school. Of course, we have the middle leadership teams, the admin teams. We work together as a team, but many times we made team decisions. But sometimes you, as a leader, have to stand alone and take that call. Yes, at that time, the intuition probably. I'm a very intuitive person, and that would help. That has greatly helped.
Certainly, ma'am. To have the people around us who are always ready to extend that supporting hand is always so, lots of delight for us, because we know that whenever we will fall down, we have others to help us. And you rightly said we should look out for, advice from any age group. It doesn't matter, wisdom doesn't come with age. Definitely, it,
Absolutely.
it all of us have, God has bestowed all of us with that wise thing. So we should be open to that. And there are so many people, those who think, what would children give us? But I think they are the best at, just telling you what is the right direction and what
Give
would be
you
the
the
best.
most creative solutions. I'll give you an
Certainly.
example, Seema. I was, we have this habit in school when you check their turnout. I never personally liked it. So, one child told me, "Why don't you keep a mirror near the entrance so we look at ourselves and go?" Another child told me, "Instead of checking for our nails, keep a nail cutter in school in case we are not able to." This came from a grade one child. And I put in every school, I ensured that there was a mirror and there was a nail cutter. Look at the creative solution. And
Yeah.
everyone's job became, so everybody looked at, they became more self reliant. They knew that this is what I need to check. So they're not looking for somebody to check them. Like they were monitoring themselves. So
Yeah.
they give you the most creative solutions. You have to have the ear to listen to them.
Certainly, certainly. And when you play with them, then you actually realize what their world is all about. It's full of
Yes.
creativity. What wonderful things
Yes.
they do. And then you actually realize how wise they are. So great. And on this wonderful note of learning from our young minds, we have reached to the very interesting segment of the show. This is called Rapid Fire Round. So, ma'am,
Okay.
you have to answer in one word or a statement would do.
Okay.
So here we start with our very first question.
Okay.
Ma'am, may I request you to please adjust the frame a little? Your frame is
Okay.
getting cut.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, perfect. All right, so let us begin the very interesting rapid fire round. Here
Okay.
comes the first question. Women is most courageous when?
She faces tremendous difficulties and she doesn't know that kind of strength is there within her. It's actually not the journey that makes you strong. She discovers that strength from within.
Wonderful, beautiful answer. Coming up to the next question. You spend your recreational time indulging in activities like?
Dogs, pets, animals, listening to music,
Okay.
spending
All
time
right.
with children.
Spending time with children. All right. So, what is your genre of music?
Anything, nothing specific.
All right. So, I also know that you write beautiful poems. So, why not you just, read a few lines of the poem that you have penned?
I like this part of the poem that I penned, I think, when I was in my graduation. And I thought, yeah, I still think it holds good in every aspect of life. Uh, there are roses in life and thorn bushes too. I take both in his name. How about you? I don't remember the middle verse, but the last verse is there's spring and there's winter and there's autumn too. And you've got to go through all the seasons to get that rosy hue. Something like that.
Beautiful. It really actually few lines, but they have in-depth meaning. That you need to
Thank
experience
you.
everything. It's not just happy, happy, happy. There are all kinds of moments that you need to
Yes.
live up. Wonderful, beautiful thought, and very beautifully expressed. Moving ahead to the next question, an activity which allows you to live life with some adventure in it.
Yes. To move out of our comfort zone in any area. For example, I would be very lethargic to go for a walk. That activity, you know, would help me to come out of my comfort area and do my best. Simple things like that. So I would like to figure out those in every aspect. Looking at, for example, higher education, I didn't know anything about nursing education, but I wanted to learn everything. So I like to challenge myself. I like this song, like दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद को जय करे. In school, we never understood the meaning of this song, but later on, I used to always think, and one of my Hindi teachers told me that You have to win over yourself before you think you have to win over others. I didn't understand that then I really think one needs to challenge oneself first. One need to manage oneself first before trying to do something or manage something. So this is one aspect of what I think. I don't know whether I've answered your question right or
Yeah.
whether it fits in, but yes.
All right. Though you have brought a very beautiful message that that you need to challenge yourself first. Try to become the better version of your own self. Then you compare yourself with others, because that is never ending. So we can just keep on figuring on becoming ourselves better. So wonderful thought again. So moving on to the last question of this segment, what is the one thing that you love about your current role in at Princess Essen College?
Making a difference actually to the students, that aspect actually made me passionate to go for this job, and making a difference in the lives of students, in the lives of teachers, and making a difference to the place itself.
Right.
So this aspect, especially the student community, they come from, they are different segments of professions there. That aspect, because all the while I've been with school children, so I don't see them any different, especially the 11th and the 12th graders or the first year's nursing students. So this aspect is was very important and for me.
Wonderful, ma'am. So, with this beautiful answer, we have come to the end of rapid fire round. Now we have reached to the last question of the show, which is called viewers' choice question. So, my
Okay.
viewers throw in a lot of questions to me, and this is the one which I have picked for you. They say that with NEP 2020 being introduced in the mainstream education, there is a lot of buzz about skill training and skill learning, and we always name it as extracurricular or vocational courses. So, what do you think the importance of these vocational courses is, and how are schools gearing up to provide vocational courses to their students?
All right. This is a wonderful aspect that has been introduced in the NEP. Everyone, skill education, you don't need to finish your 10th grade. Age appropriately, one could introduce this skill education. And yes, schools are definitely gearing up, though at the moment I'm not in touch with many schools, and I really it's too early days for me to even comment on what they're really doing. But for a few aspects that I have, schools that I have heard of and seen, they are trying to introduce it in their own way, because some of the students, especially the special needs, the dyslexics, and dysgraphics, etc., the skill aspect would definitely help them to get self-employed. So it is very an integral part of school education, and you never know at what time in life you would practice a skill and that could become your living. So it is important to channelize our energies, our time and energy correctly, focus as much as we can and learn as much as we can, whether it's a curriculum or whatever. So I wouldn't really prefer to call this an extra curriculum. It is an extended curriculum actually,
Yes, it
which is
is.
really important. Even children learn cooking at home. That's an extended skill that they're learning, isn't it? So
Right.
yes, schools are trying to gear up, but honestly, it's too early days for me to comment on this, because I'm not in touch with many schools at the moment. But yes, there are a lot of skill centers that have opened, and they are imparting skills to the students, and most of them, after their regular school hours, do go there. They could, they're
Mhm.
doing pretty well there.
Right. All right. So, that skills are essential for the children and, the
Absolutely,
future.
absolutely, absolutely. Even it helps them in their motor development, their thought process, their creativity, many aspects. It
Right.
you call them as those 21st century skills is just not speaking, or you could do a lot of use your problem solving
Right.
skills. You can do so much. You can bring in innovation. You can do, and children just come up with a lot of stuff.
Very rightly said, ma'am. Future belongs to those who can combine these skills in a very creative manner. If they are
Yes,
able to learn more skills and then they
absolutely,
combine them in a creative way,
absolutely.
then there is no looking back.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts and vision with us. And ma'am, what I've learned from you, Aparna ma'am, is that where giving come first and last thing in everything you do, your selflessness and your lasting, you have a lasting impression on my mind today. And I think you are an epitome of education par excellence. So thank you so much today for sharing your journey with us and throwing light on such important aspects like, conserving the nature, the women empowerment, and, how to learn, be creative at schools. And what about the last thought that you mentioned? It's not extracurricular, it's extended curriculum. It's so wide in its own self. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share your journey with other educators.
Thank you, Seema. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for all your kind words. It puts more responsibility on me to live up to it.